People of the State of Michigan versus Marshella Chidester.
All right, I've told our jury is back. Do we have any other questions? Any other issues?
Yes, Your Honor. May I go forward?
Pardon me?
May I go forward?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Just for the record, Bill told us on behalf of the defendant P3434. Your Honor, I believe I may have a stipulation that's pretty codified, and that is the PBT will not be mentioned unless there's some exception with regard to the PBT being admitted. I just wanted to make sure it was on the record that nobody's going to mention that any of the officers or anything.
It's statutory.
Right. So one of those motions to follow the law. Right. Okay.
I like those motions.
All right.
Judge. And then next is we had our motion for an amended motion that I had filed. And I would make it on the record with regard to my expert to be able to testify by video. He's testified in federal cases throughout the country ever since COVID, actually. And I know the Supreme Court allows it, or the administration office, whatever allows it. Your Honor, so respectfully, I would request in my amended motion that I be able to have my expert toxicologist be able to testify at trial by video. Thank you.
What's your position, Mr. Warren?
Judge, I don't believe the court has allowed video testimony, particularly in capital cases, since the pandemic concluded. People didn't even consider having their experts testify by Zoom, despite the data that also heavily refer that.
Do you hang on a second?
I'm sorry.
Do you oppose his motion?
I have to, yes.
All right.
Behind.
I'll give you the last say so. It's your motion.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Within the amended motion, it sets forth when records are received. It also sets forth with regard to my expert that's in his 70s, is a national expert, both medical doctor, and he expounds upon, and I attached it to the motion, that he cannot fly, unfortunately, due to an illness where it will cause, actually, he told me, a blood clot possibly to his brain. And airplane pilots have this where they are mandatory, they have to retire. So he suffers from that. He's unable to drive from Florida. Nobody would be prejudiced by it, and I believe, Your Honor, respectfully, it's more so the defense that when there's a Zoom hearing, we have to consent, or usually we should consent to it for the court to go forward. Here it's our expert, it's a material witness, it is our defense. So respectfully, Your Honor, the courtroom is set up for it, and we would ask, given those circumstances and everything set forth in my amended motion, that we be granted leave to be able to do that.
All right. Well, if the people had no objection, I would grant this. I've not done it in a trial. Cross-examination on Zoom. I've been on Zoom a long time, but never in a trial. Zoom is very hard to have, the social discourse that you need. So the prosecutors opposed to it. They are entitled, as well as the defense is entitled to a fair trial. They're entitled to be able to question their witnesses, test their credibility, those types of things. The fact that he hasn't flown in 20 years. I don't understand how he hasn't flown in 20 years. You hired an expert in Florida who hasn't flown in 20 years, yet it's an emergency motion. It doesn't make sense to me. Certainly, if on Wednesday he'd have gotten the car and driven, he'd be here by now. He still has time to get here. For all those reasons, the motion is denied.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Also, I talked to the prosecutor, Mr. Kenneling, and he stipulated with regard to the credentials and that CV of another expert that we have down, and it's been filed in court and a copy to Your Honor last week.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, just to clarify, we stipulated to the CV part, and we haven't stipulated to the expert or to his ability to testify.
I understood.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. Let's bring the jury in, please. Well, no, we have one
last thing, Judge. People and defense, I think, move for sequestration of all potential witnesses, except as the court rule pertains to action.
All right. If there's a witness in the courtroom, they are to leave the courtroom immediately, please. Don't see anybody moving. All right. Bring the jury.
I have one additional.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Hurry up, because I
It's
just
just
told
a capital offense, that's why I wanted to make a record on this. I don't know if there's any victims that are going to be testifying or not. If they're not, certainly I understand that they're not going to be sequestered. Secondly, that I've learned that when the prosecution, I haven't even had a chance to put it in writing. I will tonight if you want to take it up tomorrow morning, formally by a motion. And that is the prosecution, when this accident happened, I filed an appearance immediately with...
Hang on 1 second. Don, I'm sorry. I jumped the gun.
I filed, thank you, Judge. I filed an appearance with the court, and I filed an appearance with the prosecutor at 9:03 in the morning, immediately after this happened.
Let's get right to the point, okay?
Okay.
What's your issue?
I filed at 9:03. At 3 o'clock, they executed a search warrant. The prosecutor's office knew of my appearance, and I represented. They had ex parte communication in getting a warrant without notifying me.
We're months past that. Months.
Judge, it doesn't mean that the 14th Amendment doesn't apply.
Anything that you
because
want
it's-
addressed, you need to put in writing, properly press it, and we'll
And so if
address
it's
it.
morally done, you can violate the law. Okay.
All right, bring the jury in, please, Mike. In this one.